In the previous class, we discussed Muhammad Ghori, how after Muhammad Ghori, the rule continued by someone. Who is someone? And who was someone? Already I mentioned, Ghulam dynasty came into prominence. Now we are going to see Ghulam dynasty. Ghulam dynasty. So who is the prominent ruler of Ghulam dynasty? Here, all the people who succeeded Muhammad Ghori in all the places conquered by Muhammad Ghori in India were his slaves. Once again I repeat the words, all the people who succeeded means who came after him and succeeded the position. All the people who succeeded Muhammad Ghori in all the places conquered by Muhammad Ghori in India were his slaves. Whose slaves? Muhammad Ghori's slaves. Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was one such prominent slave. Here Qutbuddin Aibak, who established Turks' rule in Delhi, he was also a slave. Who started Turks' rule in Delhi? Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak started the rule. His successors were also slaves. Who came after him, who ascended the throne after him, were also slaves. Hence, their rule is termed as slave dynasty or as Ghulam dynasty rule Already I mentioned Qutbuddin Aibak was one such prominent slave. Now we are going to see Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak, he laid strong foundation for the rule of Delhi Sultans in India. He laid strong foundation. As a slave, see, he proved his mettle. How did he prove his caliber? Now we are going to see that. Qutbuddin belonged to a family of Afghanistan Turks. And he was sold to a Qazi means judge. He was sold to a Qazi. He was sold to a Qazi of Nishapur. As slave by his guardians. See, in the childhood only he was sold to a Qazi as a slave. Just imagine. See, even today, as we have everything, we curse our fate. But see, Qutbuddin Aibak, he was sold to a Qazi of Nishapur as a slave. But Aibak received education in Arabic, Persian languages, and was also trained in archery and horse riding, soldiering. Though he was a slave, he got education in Arabic language and Persian language, and was also trained in archery, and he learnt horse riding and soldiering. Later, Muhammad Ghori, who was the governor of Ghazni, purchased him as a slave. See, Muhammad Ghori actually was sold to a Qazi. From Qazi, Muhammad Ghori purchased him as a slave. But Aibak was very talented. He dragged the attention of Muhammad Ghori by his bravery. Already he learnt Persian language, Arabian language, and he studied in that both language and trained in archery, horse riding, soldiering. That dragged him, his talent dragged the attention of Muhammad Ghori. It means Aibak attracted the attention of Muhammad Ghori by his bravery. He became the overseers of attacks on India after the second battle of Tarain. In the first battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori was defeated. In the second battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. After the second battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori left to Ghor region. But he was here, he appointed Aibak to look after the administration of Delhi. So he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak. He became the successor of North India during the period of Muhammad Ghori. He ruled independently after the death of Ghori. Aibak built, these are all the, a slave became a ruler of Delhi. He is not only good at soldiering, archery, he paid his attention even in architecture and even literature also. Aibak built a mosque called Quwwat-ul-Islam. Qutbuddin Aibak built Quwwat-ul-Islam, a mosque in Delhi. He also started building Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar. Yes. Who started the work of Qutub Minar? Qutbuddin Aibak. Here, then scholars like Nizami, Paki, Mudhabir were his poets. It means they were in his court. Here, the work named Tajul Masir provides information about Aibak. Quwwatul Islam and Qutub Minar were built by Qutbuddin Aibak. See the image of Quwwatul Islam, a mosque at Delhi. Google image. And Qutub Minar. See the image, Google image of Qutub Minar. Okay, these are all the contribution of Aibak to art and architecture. And he gave patronage to the poets. Nizam, you see here, Tajul Masir, a work provides information on Aibak. And he also patronized it. Nizami and Paki Mudhabir. Nizami and second one Paki Mudhabir. Here in that way, he support art and architecture. Now we discussed Qutbuddin Aibak. Here I will ask some questions. Note down that questions in your notebook and answer them. If possible, send to me. Send it to me. Okay. Who laid strong foundation? The question number. First, who laid strong foundation for the rule of Delhi Sultans? First question. Second question, how did Qutbuddin Aibak attract the attention of Muhammad Ghori? What are the contributions of Qutbuddin Aibak to the field of architecture and literature? Once again, what are the contributions of Qutbuddin Aibak to the field of architecture and literature? Another one question, which book provides information on Aibak? Qutbuddin Aibak. Once again, which book provides information on Qutbuddin Aibak? Now we are moving to another ruler of Delhi. It is none other than Iltutmish. We are going to see Iltutmish. Who is this Iltutmish? Iltutmish belonged to Ilbari family. Which family? Ilbari family. and was a slave to Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was slave to Muhammad Ghori and Qazi of Nishapur. But here Iltutmish was the slave of Qutbuddin Aibak. And he was also attracted by Qutbuddin Aibak. Later he was an administrator at Gwalior and he became the successor of Aibak. During the period of Aibak, he was a governor, administrator at Gwalior. After the demise of Qutbuddin Aibak, he ascended the throne of Delhi. And Ghazn's king Tajuddin Yaldoch, say who? Tajuddin Yaldoch attacked on Delhi. And see here, Ghazn's king Tajuddin Yaldoch and Sindh's Nasiruddin Kabacha. See the different names you didn't hear these name, different names. Okay, Tajuddin Yaldoch and Nasiruddin Kabacha. Nasiruddin Kabacha. What did they do? Could not tolerate the ascendance of Iltutmish as the Sultan. They did not tolerate, they were very jealous about Iltutmish. So they revolted against him. But Iltutmish was very strong. He defeated them and conquered Ranthambore, Mandora, Gwalior, Bhilsa, Ajmer, Banaras and Kannauj once again. Iltutmish defeated Tajuddin Yaldoch and Nasiruddin Kabacha. By defeating them, he conquered some part. Ranthambore, Mandora, Gwalior, Bhilsa, Ajmer, Banaras and Kannauj. See, the throne is not a seat of, not a seat of flowers. It was throne is seat of thorn. Once again, throne is seat of thorn. If the king is capable, he can make them flower. The similar thing happened in the case of Iltutmish. Then Mongolians, at the same time, Mongolians invaded India for the first time under the leadership of Chengiz Khan. You might have heard, he is a cruel leader, Chengiz Khan. But Iltutmish made them to retreat successfully. Retreat means he repulsed, he checked their attack. Amazed by his achievement, the Caliph of Baghdad issued a letter. What letter he issued? Bestowing administrative power. What? Bestowing administrative power to him. See, Iltutmish made Chengiz Khan to retreat. This achievement, see, Chengiz Khan was an aggressive leader. He was a ferocious leader. Defeating Chengiz Khan is not an easy thing. But Iltutmish defeated them. So the Caliph of Baghdad issued a letter that was bestowing administrative power to him. Iltutmish divided his kingdom. See, this is all about his military achievements. Now we are going to the other part, that is his administrative part. Iltutmish divided his whole kingdom into Iqtas. What? Iqtas. What does Iqta mean? Iqta means provinces. And he appointed Iqtadars to look after the provincials. That means Iqtas. Who looked after Iqta? Iqtadars looked after Iqtas. See, Iqtadars, Subedars, Tahsildars, these are all the Persian words. Today what we call Dafedar, what we call Tahsildar, what we call Subedar, Iqtadars, these are all the words we derived from Persian. Okay. Then he appointed a group of 40 Sardars to advise him in his administrative issues. He sought the help of these 40 Sardars. They will give right suggestions in his administration. The prime ministers and judges used to advise him. Then Iltutmish brought gold and silver coins into circulations. He completed the constructions of Qutub Minar, which was started by Qutbuddin Aibak, but he could not complete the work of Qutub Minar. This is all about Iltutmish. I'll ask some questions, note down those questions. Which family does Iltutmish belong to? Once again, which family does Iltutmish belong to? First question. And who was the Ghazni king attacked during Iltutmish administration? I already mentioned Ghazni's king Tajuddin Eldoj. Answer is very simple. And which were the regions conquered by Iltutmish after defeating Nasiruddin Qabacha and Tajuddin Eldoj? Once again, which were the regions conquered by Iltutmish after defeating Tajuddin Eldoj and Nasiruddin Qabacha? Which Mongolian leader attacked on Iltutmish territory? Why did Caliph of Baghdad honor Iltutmish? Why did the Caliph of Baghdad honor Iltutmish? These are all the questions relating to Iltutmish. After Iltutmish, his son Ruknuddin Firoz was incompetent. Incompetent means he was not a capable leader. See, after Iltutmish, his son Ruknuddin, he was incapable, not a calibrated, what I means he did not have caliber to rule the government. He was incompetent. He was incompetent. Who was incompetent? Ruknuddin Firoz. So, his daughter Razia Begum became his successor. Who? Razia Begum. Who was Razia Begum? Razia Begum was the daughter of Iltutmish. She honored the title. She was the first woman to ascend the throne of Delhi Sultanate. She honored the title of Sultana and participated in the battles dressing as a man. Due to her bravery, she was titled as Sultana. She was capable leader, and she was the first woman to ascend the throne of Delhi Sultanate. She established her rule from Sindh to Bengal, from east to west. Sindh to Bengal means east to west. Then provincial officials who were unable to tolerate her rule. See, even today, the men cannot tolerate the success of women. The same thing happened in the case of Razia Sultan also. They could not tolerate her capacity, her administrative style, and her bravery. Later, they plotted against her and killed her. See, I'll ask some questions now. Note down them and answer them. Who came after the death of Iltutmish to the Delhi region? Or who came after Iltutmish? Who came to the power after Iltutmish? Which was the title earned by Razia Begum? Which was the title earned by Razia Begum? Who killed Razia Sultan? Why did the leaders, provincial leaders, killed Razia Sultan? These questions to be noted and note down in our notes, and please answer them. Okay, dear students, today we discussed Qutb Aibak, Iltutmish and Razia Sultan. I hope you will go through the video and note down all the questions and go along with the textbook also. Textbook is also very, very important. Don't waste your time. I hope you are doing better. Sai Ram.